Thank you for joining with me on this webinar. Today's topic is about account security and email settings. We possibly do a little bit more settings, including the outstanding report settings, and we touch base on a little bit on digital signature, email settings only, simply because it relates to the settings that you have on GovReports. All the settings that you have on GovReports will also be the same settings that you have with other applications that you have within GovReports as well. So just give me one moment before we start. So since we implementing the new look for GovReports, we have enhanced and given you much more flexibility and access, control, and security to manage and prepare reports as well as lodgements. So the agenda for today is to give you a brief introduction of who we are for those who are new and our objective in service delivery. Then we dive into the settings available in GovReports, including my profile, my business, off-key, ATO nominations, user settings, security settings, email configurations, and as mentioned earlier, a little bit on outstanding report settings and also digital signature, or just a little bit of mentions on that. Depending on your usage and requirements and personal taste, there is no requirements to do everything, but at least some of them. Having said that, there is an advantage when you have your account set up with these additional settings. Okay. Now, just about GovReports, for those who are new to GovReports, GovReport was released since 2011 and is a complete SDR lodgement platform for business, staff, and tax agents, enabling the preparations and lodgement of compliance, tax-related forms to various government agencies, including the tax office, all the state and territory revenue offices, as well as ASIC for listed companies to lodge financial reports. For new GovReport users, when upon the completion of registrations, you'll be directed to the settings page, which is what you see on the screen right now, where you can go through and do the settings one by one. For existing users, you can also get access to this page, and I'll show you how where to click on this page as well. Then, of course, you have the email settings to enable you to send reports to your clients with the nominated email that you want, or you want to receive an email when you complete your lodgement and you receive the email from us. If you want to nominate a different email for that, that's also be possible as well. It's good that, you know, we realized that since last year we released this feature. Although we didn't have webinar to show people how we do it and the benefits for that, it will be beneficial for you to change to have your email configured so that you know, it's easier when you send out an email. You cut down the process. I mean, a lot of you, I know that in the past you send yourself an email from GovReports with the attached report or draft report, and then forward that to your clients. Now you can do that with once you complete the email settings. You can then, you know, send an email directly to your clients with your from your email and be able to track it and from your sendbox, as well as including that with the email signature that you want to have. Now, that's basically, and of course you can manage your password. That basically completes the account settings. Then there is also the Manage My Account. You notice that which will give you a more details of your subscription with us, and also you can check out, you know, like basically your transactions, your previous subscription with us, and so you know, basically you can go, when you go in here, you can print out the previous invoice or what you have with us previously and present. Then security settings. Now, this is because this is a testing account. There would be a third option here. And besides the ATO nominations, the off-key settings, we would have another settings which is called the two-factor authentications. I'll walk through that one by one. The ATO nominations is because going forward, the off-key is no longer required for ATO only ATO lodgements. I'll walk through the process of doing the ATO nominations. OSCE, however, is still required for OSR, all the payroll tax lodgements. So for those, and of course other government agencies. And if later on, if these government agencies decide to do similar to that of ATO or the same process as ATO, we'll let you know an update. The two-factor authentications, it's actually we have several security settings that you have, password securities and security settings that you can add to your account. It's optional. You can have more than one. You can have two. You can have three. You can have all of them. It's up to you. Having said that, some people will find it annoying to have additional settings, security settings, but it is recommended to protect your not only your business, your personal, and also your client's financial details. Although we are very proud of our system security today, we can never be too careful, and as more and more services are becoming available online, it is a new era, and this online society creates more online criminals. Automation makes it easier for professional hackers to attack online and software users, regardless of whether this is a desktop or cloud-based software. Your computer, your laptop, iPad, or any device, including your mobile phone, as well as the browser that you visit regularly, are all built to capture data you enter, including your username and passwords. More and more, not only on the system, but also store that somewhere on the device you use to access or on the browser service providers. Recently, I forgot the username and password of the software that I have installed on my computer, and as I did not remember the security setting or the password to enter to verify me as the owner of the account, after a few weeks, I gave up. Really, I thought there's no way that I can recover that. I asked one of the IT guy in the office if he can assist me to reinstall the applications. As I know, but hence that I no longer have the disk. He went on to my computer within minutes. He got me to a screen where it lists all my username and passwords to almost everything that I have got online and or offline, and anyone else who came to my computer to work. I felt so exposed. So whether your OSCE is on the cloud or on the desktop, the risk is there. In the old days, if you want something to be kept safe and secure, you get a bank safe deposit box. These days, security on the cloud is like the bank safe deposit box because you entrust someone to keep your personal data away from criminals. And yes, banks do occasionally get robbed in the old days and now, but they have more security and insurance. Anyway, the additional security is implemented to provide you with more protections for you, for you to basically to add to your account. So without further ado, I'll go through the demo and show you some of these settings. Now, because we do have several applications within GovReports, for those that have digital signature or CLM or other accounts with us, it is a single sign-on. So what it means, and also the settings are the same. So if you have got the settings set up in GovReports or in digital signature or in whatever that you use, each time that you change, it changes for every other applications as well. So now this is, when you log in, this is our dashboard. To do the settings, we go to, like I said, this is for existing users. The new users, you would have got the page earlier that you saw. For the new users, for the existing users, to access to your settings, there's several there that you can see, and of course more settings if you click here. All these settings, my business settings, OSCE setup, update OSCE password for existing setup that you already have, or for the OSR, and of course the ATO nominations. Set up for Intuit single sign-on and manage my account. Normally, I like to go straight into manage my account or the more settings because I can get access to all the settings that I want to also from there. You notice that the account setting is there and manage my account is there. So it's similar, and it's similar to the page that for the new users. And if you want to go to that page where we showed you earlier for the new users, simply click on My Account on the top here, and that will give you access to the page that we were on earlier. Like I said, this is the the testing account, so we don't have the third option being updated on here, but it would normally be the case. Like for your production account, you would see that once you click here, you would have the two-factor authentication settings. Now, for account settings, business settings, if you want to change your business details, i.e. if you have updated the ABN or changed your business name or whatever, just simply go to business settings, click on Edit My Business on your top right corner here. Once you click on that, that will take you to a page where you will see the details of your business. The main point here is the ABN number to ensure that, if you enter the correct ABN, some of these details will be pre-filled, auto-filled, so that basically to minimize the errors as well. You can update your contact details, and of course the important thing, as I mentioned, the ABN, your trading name, your main name, are the important things that we need, because we use this information to cross-check with the ATO, the ABR, and also the Tax Practitioner Board. So once you've got these details updated, you can make sure you save it. Now, notice that we ask for bank account details. This is if later on you want to do tax, you have your tax return or VAT lodgements, whatever. And when we have the client updates, information and other information from more ATO services being updated onto GovReports, it will be beneficial for you to have it because it will show there. So once you've done the changes, click Save, and we can move on to the next settings, which is the profile settings. Now, profile settings is how our system identifies you as as the GovReport subscriber, as our client. So the only thing you can change almost everything here except for the agent number. The reasons we don't allow you to change the agent number simply because look, once you change it, it could be, we could have a duplications of, people trying to, it's just difficult for us to, it's better for our system to basically do not allow you to change the agent number so that we can use that number and ensuring that there's no duplication in our system, and also no one else can use your account besides you. And what I mean by besides you is that because this data is also then cross-checked with the Tax Practitioner Board and the OSCE details or the ATO nominations details that you have, it has to match. This is one way for us to protect our system. So once you update some of these details here, you can change your email address also. So previously we did not allow you to change your username, which is your email address. Now you can also change that. But if you change that, sometimes our system, I think previously I tried that and our system didn't allow me to change that. But I think these days, it sounds like you can change. The problem is once you change that, you have to put in your password again to ensure that it's the right person is changing the details. So just make sure that you remember your password. Unlike me, I never remember any of my passwords. So it's difficult each time that I change something, it's asked me for password. You can also upload your logo or your picture. If there's more than more than one person in the office using GovReports for lodgements, it's always nice to basically have a picture on there. But if you want to have your logo, it's fine also. Once you've done the changes, you can save it. Now, with user settings, with user settings, although you can edit the user settings from here, I prefer that it is changed from my users tab from the dashboard. So I'm flicking over. So I prefer to use that from there, but certainly you can also use it from here and go into and edit their role. This is when they already have, they have already, you have already added their accounts into GovReports, and you want to change, their role or their client's access or something like that. So it's purely up to you. I'll go through the user settings. Like I said, I would prefer that I'll change it from like I'll do any settings for my users directly from the dashboard. Simply because once you've done all your settings to ensure that your account is already set up and in use, then you go to your users. It's just like on the airplane. It's basically make sure that yourself is set up before you help someone else. So once that's the user settings, I'll go through that afterwards from the dashboard. Yep. So sorry, I'll just complete that so that we don't have to go back to it. To add new, you can add new. The more important things, what's required from us is just the name and the email address, and also the role, the user license that you allocate to them. Once you allocate the user license to them, it would then take you back to your user list, and from there you can then allocate whether you want to set the password, reset the password, or inactivate the account, or go into and set up the user permissions. From the user permissions, there's a few options there's a few functionalities that you can do there. If you delegate your user the administrator privilege, what that means is that you're giving your user basically the ability to do everything you can do as the main account holder, including the adding clients, access to all the forms, access to all the clients, and also can lodge as well. But if you don't want to give them the administrator privilege, you can then customize their access into the account, whether they can add the clients, and for those clients that they add, can they lodge? You can click there. If you want them to lodge also, then it will not prompt whether you're sure you want to do that. Once you confirm, that's activated. The same thing, that's for the new clients, and for the existing clients, basically which forms you and also for these new clients and existing clients, which forms you want them to get access to. So for example, for these, I have given, for this particular case, I'm giving access to 4 forms for this user, and which clients I want them to look after, and whether I want to give them lodgement capabilities. So once you've done that, once you click that, for each one of the clicks that you make, it will ask you, it would prompt that, this is what you have done. And if you don't want to undo, if you're not too sure, you can undo that. But that's basically it. It's quite interactive. You don't need to save anything here. Once you've done it, you can just simply close that and go back to the next settings that you have, because that's already done. Now, so that's basically the user settings. With email settings, as I mentioned, this has been released late last year. We do have two functionalities in here that are useful, that could be very useful to you. The incoming email setting is when you do a lodgement and you want a copy of the lodgement receipt, or when you validate a report, you want that, or when you queue up a report, we will send you an email. Now, this is sending to your email. So if you want to also customize that, you can change. So, and outgoing email setting is when you're sending out an email with the attached copy of the lodgement receipt, or it could be a drafted activity statement or tax return or whatever. That's the outgoing. That's when it's going out to your clients or someone else that you nominate. Now, to change these settings, go to edit my email settings on the top right. Any functionalities, anything that you go through is usually on the top right. Just check to make sure. So once you click that we go into Okay, that will go into and enable you to do the changes on your well, the changes that you want to make on these settings. So, for example, in just go in and type in what you want, because this is a testing account, and I want to make sure that I have. If I later on I want to do any sending any emails, I will receive emails. So, yeah, so you can add in the email. Just simply type over or delete the existing email that you have there. And of course, if you don't do anything, if you go back and decide not to do anything, and because you're happy with what you have at the moment, then it just goes into default with GovReports. Now, the difference is that in the past, what we have experienced is that a lot of people they claim that they have sent an email with the drafted with the validated reports to their clients, but their clients claimed that they didn't receive it, etc., and came back to us and asked us whether we can retrieve these emails. Unfortunately, because with our system, automated email, we have so much emails going out each day, and it's difficult for us to trace back and find out, whether you have sent an email. So this is why we, for the outgoing emails, if you want control of your, like what you have sent out to your clients, the outgoing email is recommended. Whether it's a Gmail account or it's a Yahoo account or it's your personal account, some of you might have your own website and you have your personal email. You can set up as you want. So it is, like I said, it is recommended. Its outgoing email is when your clients receive an email that you send from GovReports, saving you the time that you send yourself an email and then forward that to your clients. This basically solves the issue. The setting itself is exactly the same as you would for Gmail and Yahoo. It's basically using your email address and your password. For those that have your own email address, then you would need the SMTP server details and the SMTP port. These details, unfortunately, because everyone else is different, everyone uses a different server or a different service provider. Unfortunately, there is no one solution. So you need to check with your service provider, your website service provider. Perhaps they can give you the details of these. But if you're not too sure, 100% sure, perhaps also give us a call, and then we might be able to assist you depending on if it's one of those server provider that we know, then we can guide you through it. But if we're not too sure, it's better for you to check with your web designer or your IT service provider. Once you've done that, once you've done your settings, your email settings, the other things, this is optional as well, and it's I know many of you as tax agents or BAS agents, this is nice, because if you have your email signature, you can just copy and paste it into these sections, and that would, once that's submitted, it will basically update the system, and any email that you send to your clients going forward, it would have the details that you have submitted earlier. So notice that the email signature is now saved onto the settings, and of course the email address confirming those details. Okay, so that's basically the email settings. Now, as I mentioned earlier, whatever that you're doing here, that will also change for if you've got digital signature, CLM, or whatever else that you have with us, analytics, or whatever you have, whatever the email settings here that you do, it also changed for that. It also will be the same for those applications that you have with us as well. So saving you the time to do the settings for each and every one of them. Okay, so that's basically the email settings. And of course, you can manage your password. It's up to you. If you want to change your new to a new, that's basically, this is where you need to go to. Now, that's basically complete the account settings in GovReports. The other thing that I should mention here also before we go into the Manage My Account is that GovReports settings is tenanted. So what that means is that if you are the main account holder, the email settings that you have here and the business settings that you have, or your profile settings, that basically will be your secondary users will basically cannot change. So whatever that you set up here, that will be, for example, the email settings that you have here, all the email that you send to your clients, this is what your clients will be receiving. And even for your secondary users, this is what they will have. This is what they will get. They can only set their email settings. Their account settings. Not account settings, but their account, access to their account. But the email settings and all those settings that we've just done earlier, they cannot change. Only you, as the principal account holder, will be able to change these things, including the user access as well. So if your user, your staff member has forgotten the password, you can reset the password as well. You can do, basically all the settings is done and organized by you as the main account holder. Now, next is the manage my account, like as I mentioned earlier. I've got logged out. Sorry, this is an old computer that I'm using, so it can be quite blunt. So when you click on Manage My Account, it will take you to, previously we had very little details on your subscriptions. Now we have updated, and also all your previous subscription with us, you will have details on here. So Manage My Account basically will allow you to manage your subscription with us, your relationship with us. So whether it's your purchases, or whether you want to do more, or if you're using a pay-per lodgement, pay-per-use, you can top up the credits, you can go into the shopping cart and find out more, services. The good thing with, to stop the confusions, everything that you have access to, you will not be able to add more services on those. Only those that you don't have, you'll be able to add more services there. So this is the testing account that I have is a tax agent's account that would basically, so all the services all have been already added. So not much services that I can add more. But certainly, if you want to have more user license to your account, you can go to add more services, or simply just go into My Purchase, and you can also add more services from there. So there are many. It's quite flexible. You can, whichever page that you're on, you can also go to a different to different services there. Of course, payment history, you can also have access to all the lodge, whatever that you have paid in the past. Like I said, sometimes a lot of people want the receipt for each one of them, so you can click and print the receipt for each and every one of them, the payments that you made in the past. And of course, if you've got per lodgement, pay-per-use, any transaction any lodgement that you have made would have been shown here, so that it gives you a detailed descriptions of the services and that you have taken place, that you have used in the past, and so forth. So, like I said, it gives you detailed descriptions of the services that you have used with GovReports. So that's basically the settings. Now, manage your account and manage your account business and account settings. Security settings, to get access to security settings. Besides, what I'll do is, before I go into off-key settings, like most of you would have already, for existing users, off-key setting is no longer required because you already have your off-key set up already in GovReports. But otherwise, the process will be, well, with ATO, it's going to be quite redundant very soon, with the ATO nominations going to replace that. To access to ATO nominations, you can get access from here, or you can go directly from the settings on the top right corner of your settings icon. So to get access to the ATO nominations, click on it. You need to generate the software ID. Copy that software ID number. Then, or just write it down somewhere. Then you need to either contact the ATO on the telephone, via the telephone. Now, I have I have tried to contact the ATO and see the process, what our users or what you would be going through. I have contacted the ATO and tried to do the ATO nomination process. I'm not too sure. This was about a month ago, and at that time it took me almost 45 minutes just waiting to get through to the ATO. For those of you that have ATO portal access, it's probably be a faster way of doing the ATO nominations. But for those of you that that's okay with the do not want to, perhaps it's because the ATO portal is down or something like that, and you need to get access to the ATO immediately, then contact the ATO on that number. That's the 1300 number. Otherwise, the ATO portal access, ATO portal would be a better, a quicker, a more controlled way of doing the ATO nomination. Once you go to, if you click here, we have the link to show you how to. It's a step-by-step guide how to do the ATO nominations. But instead of reading this, I'm going to take you through the quick flow of it. Once you go into ATO nominations, you need to log in again to Access Manager. Click on My Nominated Software Providers. It's pretty straightforward. Then click Next. And then you confirm that you want to nominate a provider. Once you got to this page, just enter the name of the software that you want to nominate. So in this case, it's GovReports. Once you click on, it's confirmed the GovReport has been confirmed, you need to put in the software ID that we generated earlier. Once you put in the software ID, click Next, Confirm, and that's basically the process. It's the nomination process is completed. You then need to go back to the GovReports website or applications. Click Activate Nominations because it's been done on the ATO. Once it's activated, submit, and going forward, it's ATO lodgements using the ATO nominations. Now, going forward from perhaps for March, we will, before when this is made compulsory, we will send out an email to everyone. We will possibly send out an email pretty much February or so, simply because this process has been here since October last year, but we haven't advised anyone to go on it. There has been quite a number of people that already have done it already on GovReports, but we found that it was inconsistently earlier, that it was not working as well as we expected, so we haven't advised everyone to get on board. Having said that, it has been quite stable and already, so we'll wait and see possibly for another few weeks more, and if everything is well and good, we will send out an email advising for you to do the ATO nomination. Having said that, if you want to use it immediately or to do the ATO nomination immediately, you can do so as well. It's recommended anyway. I think it's quite stable now. But if you have any issues, you can always go back to the old settings. Just basically click the untick the ATO nominations. You can go back to it as well. So it's already there, and you can use it immediately if you want to. Now, besides the ATO nominations, for tax agents, there is ELS credential, and that's basically, again, it's another short temporary solution for lodgement of individual tax returns. It hasn't changed. If you already have been using GovReports, there's no need for you to change that. But going forward, when ELS to SBR is completed, then the ELS credential is no longer needed at this stage. Now, with the two-step authentication, as I mentioned earlier, this is the additional security settings that we have implemented. And at the moment, there are two options for you to choose from. You can use one of them or both of them, and we will be adding more security options for you to choose from as well. The one that we have at the moment is the basically, if you choose this option, it's the one. What it is that each time that you log into GovReports, it will GovReport will send you or the email, whichever email that you chose from to be receiving incoming as an incoming email. You would get an incoming email with the one-time password. Now, to your email. I know for tax agents it's fine, but for BAS agents, many of you work on site at client site, and sometimes you don't have access to your email. So that option might not be a possibility, a good option at the moment. You can use the second option, which is basically security questions. You can select some of these selected, some of these preset questions that you can use, and of course you need to know the answer for each that you set on each one of these questions. The third and fourth options that we will be adding more in is basically a password that you can use, like you can set up, and it's just an additional password that you have to add in, and that you can add in, you can set up, and you can reuse that each and every time that you log into GovReports as well. So it means that besides the login that we do as we normally do, each time before you want to get access to the financial reports or your account details, it will prompt for you to enter the password. So whether it's the security questions or the password that will be sent to your email, or it will be something else that we will be adding along the way. Just before we release these additional security settings that we add into GovReports, we will update you whether it's on on the news from the dashboard news updates, or if we send you an email so that you would know you will have that option. Like I said, these security settings are optional. You can use both. You can use all of them, or you can just use one of them, or you don't have to use it. It's up to you, entirely up to you. And once you activate it and use the same, setup, your staff will also have to follow as well. So this is basically there to assist you to protect your account more. Now, some of these, because the one-time password is simply, so that it avoid the browser from saving your password, your username and password, and also the additional settings that we will be adding on, that will be a part so that, browser and your computer will not save the password onto the system, as we mentioned earlier. So that's basically I didn't do anything. I didn't set up the settings, so yeah, it sent me the password, but I didn't activate it. So that's basically the setting. You can play around with it when you have a bit more time. But if you have any further, let me know if you have questions. But that's basically the additional settings, security settings that we have. Now, that's. If we now go back to some other smaller settings. For those of you that have outstanding reports with GovReports or digital signature, like I said, outstanding reports, before we go into digital signature settings, which is, like I said, it's the same thing, outstanding reports settings, you not need to go from My Lodgement to outstanding reports, and then you can do the blanket settings for all your clients rather than instead of doing a one by one. So there are two options. So like I said, so I've got a question from Donna. If you use security options, hang on. It will be, Donna, it will be sent to the email that you have on the account. So it will be sent to the account holder, not the users. So if you have secondary user staff that are, basically have access to their account, it will be sent to their email. It's the account holder will be having will receive the email. So whether if it's the main, so if say if you have 2 users on your account and you're the main account holder, and when you enter your when you go into GovReports account, it will be sent to your email, not your staff email. And if your staff is using it and the setup is the same, they would have each time that they log in, they would have the one-time password will be sent to their email, not your email, so you don't need to be notified that they're logging in. I hope that answered your question. So with I'm now going back to outstanding reports. If you click on My Lodgements, outstanding reports to do the blanket setup for all your clients, click on the actions and client configurations, and that basically will enable you to click quick setup for all your clients. So if you want outstanding reports listings for all your clients, you can just click through all of them, and that will be set up. Now, we, in the past, I know that a lot of people have asked us whether if they subscribe for it, they should be automatically set up on their account. We did that. Unfortunately, some of the clients, we had a lot of requests saying that some of the clients, they don't want to receive outstanding reports simply because some of them, they do not do the activity statement for. So this is basically to enable you to customize to your own liking. You can just do the blanket setup, or you can do the individual setup. This one way, because this is a testing account. None of these ABNs are real. So there is no, because we don't get the details, the pre-fill or the information from the HEO. So unfortunately, I can't set up this testing account for you to show you that it works, but it should be pretty straightforward. Yep, so once you click that, it's all set. The other options for outstanding report settings, you can also do one by one as well. So if you click on your clients, and then, once you go on your client page, you can then go to the action tab, the action icon, and do the outstanding report settings for them one by one. So that's done, and of course, OSA at the moment, I don't think we have implemented yet. I think it's already there. There is a date that you can also do as well. So basically, at the moment it's only activity statements. Progressively, we will add other forms and other services onto here as well. So we will advise you along the way when that's set up. I won't update it because, like I said, this is not a real account, so it won't work. So that's basically the outstanding reports settings, and I don't think there is any other settings. Now, digital settings, digital signature, and CLM or other services. The settings on them is part of the GovReport. So if you change them because it's tenanted, and if you change the settings in digital signature, then it will also change on your GovReports account as well. Mind you, my internet here is really bad, so I do have an issue every now and then to log in. But if you do have digital signature and CLM or any other services, the same setup. If you already set up your accounts in GovReports, then there's no need to set up anything here on other applications. It will be the same, unless you want to change. But once you change on something, it will change for everything else. So that's just basically, bear in mind that's the case. Otherwise, that's basically, conclude my my presentations. Any questions? Please unmute yourself so that you can ask questions, or just send me the chat and I will answer your question. Hey, I don't see any questions from anyone else. If you've got any questions, you can, if you have any other questions that you can think of later on, you can always send us an email or give us a call. Or if you start using the GovReports implemented or do the settings. Now, most of these settings, if you do all of these settings, it takes you only minutes really to do it. But if you have any questions or along the way, just give us a tingle. I think it's pretty straightforward once you know where to navigate or where to find it. Yeah, the question is, finding where you want to be. So if you have any queries, just give us a call. Margaret, I see that your question, sorry, I just missed that. We do have video on digital signature, possibly because we also, at the moment, we run the webinar and we do have the help guide, which will be updated onto the application very shortly. I'll say possibly within this week for the digital signature and GovReports, because we're still implementing a lot of services in the next couple of weeks or months. So we are progressively adding the help guide, but check it out. Possibly after this, possibly in a few weeks, we'll have the help guide for GovReports as well. So the help guide will be there. The video will progressively will be also added onto our website. So yeah, and because with the when you got your dashboard, you have the GovReports News. We will update any new services in that as well. So in the meantime, we will troubling you by sending you emails and advising you of the changes of the new features that we add onto GovReports. I hope that answered your questions, Margaret. Otherwise, we do have digital signature webinar this coming Thursday in the morning and afternoon. If you want to join in, more than welcome. Let us know. Thank you. Thanks, Margaret. It looks like I don't have any more questions. Thank you, guys.